Hey, IDS 302. Is this thing on? Welcome to session B, IDS 302, module 1, video 1. It is where I'm sitting, it's March 7th, and it's about 6 o'clock p.m. So we're almost live. I know class starts officially tomorrow, but I'll probably send this out tonight just because I don't know everybody's schedule, of course. And obviously, some people have already gotten a start on the class. So, welcome to 302. This is a huge class. I combined about 6 sections because it's all I was teaching in session B. And so there's probably 65 of you all, and I'm really pleased with that, but also a little bit intimidated. Okay. Um, Welcome. It's a great class. I think about half of you have been in my 301 and half of you have not. Um, it's all level playing field though, just that that half of you kind of know my idiosyncrasies and emphasis on the idiot. No, just kidding. So this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to kind of ramble on this first video because it's such a welcome thing, initial thing. Um, So about me, uh, hold on. About me, I mean, I'll do interruptions here. I've got people texting me, friends, or my son will call me or something. Anyways, okay, I'm Michael Fair. Um, I am your instructor. I'll be your host. Uh, am I am the epitome of, and I hate using jack of all trades because I just don't like it, and yet I'm going to use it probably. But one of the things I pride myself on is my ability to connect with each of my students in some way. Okay, maybe not dance students, maybe not dance, but um, I have been a lot of things. Okay, I've been in no particular order, uh, tech sales, $5 million a year revenue tech sales, President's Club, successful at it until the recession hit. I still do it on the side as my side hustle. I've got one client left that I've had for 24 years. It'll be in September, and they buy from me almost every day. It's very simple, just commission, but it's just one of the things I'm gonna keep doing. Um, so I've done the sales in other areas. I've been in management. I have been in a circulation manager for the Milwaukee Journal. I'm from Milwaukee. I was born and raised there. 38 years before I came to Phoenix because of the weather. I continue to go back to Milwaukee in the summers, except for this past year, of course, but that's, again, I'm jumping all over the place. So, occupation wise, I've done it all. I've been a farmer. I've driven tractors and moved irrigation. I worked in restaurants as a cook. I've been, like I said, in management. I've been in law enforcement. I was a sergeant for Milwaukee County, and then when I came out here, I worked for tent city, Sergio Arpaio. So I've been in law enforcement, chain of command. I have been a writer, a professional writer. I've been a reporter, had a front page story in community newspapers back home. It was pretty cool. I am a photographer. I've been a photographer and multimedia artist for years. In 2007, I flew to Ghana in West Africa on a whim. I ended up flying there with Stevie Wonder, and I documented their 50th Independence Day, which was huge. It was reminiscent of the 200th, the bicentennial that I lived through in 1976 when I graduated from high school. It was a real big deal, 1776, 1976. Um, I've done uh, work for Bono's U2 on the 360 tour when they were in Phoenix as a photographer. I did photography work for Amnesty International and their local Palooza concert. I have done um, photojournalism in upcountry Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Ghana, and so I did a lot of that and writing. I found out yesterday. I found out my website. It's from 2007. I call it my legacy site, and all my photo galleries are down. So I'm in the process of getting them upgrading and hope I don't lose anything because I liked my slideshows of my. I did a lot of concert photography and other such things. I did multimedia work. I was the featured artist in 2000. I'm going to say 9 and 10 for the Juneteenth Day, Valley of the Sun Juneteenth Day here in Phoenix. Um, I did a lot of things. I know I'm missing some. I mean, truck driver. I mean, I've you name it, I've done it. Entrepreneur. So I like to think I could relate to your situation. Now, in the aforementioned recession hit, I was staring at the abyss of losing like 80% of my income. And what am I going to do? I was 52 years old, and I said, I'm going to go to college. I got a chance to live my passions here, which at the time were African studies, African American studies, cultural studies, art history. I was doing multimedia art, like I said. I was doing festivals in Phoenix area, and I was actually selling it, which really freaked me out. Alice Cooper bought a picture, but I boy do I name drop. It's pathetic. So I went to Mesa Community College during my job in the office. I just sneak out and go, and I was taking art history and cultural studies basically. And I said, you know what? Let's keep this going. What about ASU? And I was just thinking on a fly. I was like, ASU? What? You know, I was here. Yes, my son was going. No, he wasn't. Well, he graduated high school in 2010. So yeah, he was going to go. He was going to ASU, and I said, I'm going to go to ASU. I think I'm going to check it out. So I had to actually get my transcript from high school, which was somewhere in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at John Marshall High School. And it was, I called a lady and she said, oh my God, it's buried in the back storage room in microfiche, which is weird stuff. Don't make me get it. I said, please, dear, please. She did. I got into college, I got into ASU. And I took interdisciplinary studies. This was in 2000. I got into spring 2011, so 10 years ago. I seems like a blink of an eye, but I was already 52 and I started ASU and I loved it. I really took some tough classes to start. I really wanted to get it going, which might be regretful now because I took something called, it was some kind of United Nations organization things. I forgot what it was, but I got a B minus, and that was my worst grade. I finished with a 3.98, and I was named the graduate of the year for the College of Letters and Sciences, where it used to be. I was also the academic of the year in African and African American studies, and I was very proud of those two simultaneous awards from different schools at ASU, School of Social Transformation, College of Letters and Sciences, where we were housed at the time, and I felt very much as an interdisciplinarian. My concentrations were African American studies and human rights. They were quite related, obviously, you know. So I was able to do some things integratively in those areas and do some research with some local. I also was a teacher and a volunteer for the Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest for refugee resettlement, which Phoenix is a very big on refugee resettlement. Before the last administration, they cut off a lot of the taking refugees, and I learned so much from them, and I got stories I could tell, but I won't. So I I did a lot of work there, a lot of teaching for them. My mentor at ASU in my undergrad was Dr. Michael Prisdia. Some of you might know him and have had him or will have him. Michael Prisdia, I took a few of his classes, and you know, I did get a lot of A's, and I thought they were being nice to the old guy, you know. But Michael, Dr. Prisdia said, you know, you should teach. And I said, teach? I don't. What do I know about teaching? I was volunteering with the refugees. He said, no. He said, you've got such a background that it's better than almost having an academic background for 40 years. You've got a work background that can better relate to the students that are coming into this program and as well as adult students. By the way, I was a single parent at the time, raising two sons 24/7, 365. One of them is in there right now. He goes to ASU Barrett Honors College in history. I don't get to touch any of his work, but he's graduating a half year ahead of time next December and then on to grad school. But what happened with me then, after I graduated, I had this desire to go and expand my African studies to graduate school. So with some help from connections I had at ASU, I applied and was accepted to Howard University in Silver Spring, Maryland, or Washington, D.C., I should say. I pulled up roots, took my son out of eighth grade. We went to Silver Spring, Maryland. My oldest son was here. They're 9 years apart. Um, I only lasted 2 weeks in Maryland. I decided it was the right place, the wrong time. So I never was able to become a Buffalo for uh, that school where our vice president, that's she's an alumni. But I came back circuitously and decided to do my master's here. So I applied at ASU in interdisciplinary studies at the West Campus, and got a master's degree in interdisciplinary studies 4.0. I'm so bragging. I know it. It's just the ego. Where's my mentor, my guru says don't do that, but okay. But I just want to. So like I said, I think I earned my stripes. I did a capstone project on a video that you'll get to see later in the class, and analyze disciplinarity in there. And after my master's, like I said, my mentor, Dr. Garcia, said, because I connected with him, he said, teach. So he introduced me to Dr. Ellsworth, who was director of the faculty, still is, just to get me on his radar. Nothing really, formal. But then the opportunity came up to be an adjunct professor, adjunct instructor. I got hired, which is part time basically. And then the following year, I was full time. So that I graduated from my master's in 2016, right? So I just turned 58, got my master's. They hired me for a year, and then the following June, they hired me full time, and I've been doing that for about 4 years. So, yeah, I'll be 63 this year, and I'm totally bummed out about that. Oof. So, um, I love my job. I couldn't ask for a better gig right now. I was working online primarily, although I love teaching in the spring because there's no better place to be than Phoenix in spring. The weather-wise, spring training baseball, all kinds of things going on. But, so last year my class got cut off in half, obviously, at spring break. Before that, though, I was a digital nomad for about 2 years. I lived in Airbnbs. I worked across Europe, Western Europe. I worked around the country here, back home in Wisconsin to avoid the summer heat here, up the California coast, PCH, one of my favorite places in the world. Um, and, so I mean, I've been in Italy, the Amalfi Coast, Ireland, ferry rides, trains, tunnels, Paris. Loved it, worked through there. Absolutely loved my job. Then the COVID hit, destroyed my dreams. I had to get an apartment here. I had nothing, except I think I carried this map with me forever. I got my son out of the dorm. We moved in together. We're just going to sign another lease till next April. I really liked my digital nomad because I had two things I wanted: a Jeep and a job. And I got my Jeep in 2019, my Rubicon, black Rubicon, and I love it. And I put like 40,000 on the first year and now squat. But anyways, that's my story, and I want to stick to it. But I'm saying that I can probably relate, whether you're an adult, mature student like I was, whether you're a single parent like I was, whether you want to be in chain of command like I was, you want to be an artist, a writer like I was, management, entrepreneur, sales like I was. I get it. I do get it. Okay. So that's the about me. You'll get to do the about you in the introductory discussion board. I look forward to seeing that. About Easter eggs, you might have heard this, seen this, Easter eggs, right? Easter eggs are, I'm going to probably, my goal is to name three things during the video, early on, middle, and at the end. I call them Easter eggs because what it means is that if you send me these in an email, that means I know you watched the video. At least you made an effort to get the Easter eggs. Hopefully you watched it and you'll send it to me. I'll give you 5 points. Now, is it required? It's as required as anything else in college. You don't have to be here, right? You don't have to do any of the assignments. You don't have to do any of the readings. You don't have to do any of the work. But you're not gonna pass the course. I mean, it's up to you. It's I don't judge. You're probably great. Remember, I got my undergrad degree when I was 56. I don't judge. Okay. But if you're going to be here, I'd like you to take in as much as you can. All right. Hopefully, because it's a tough thing, right? Interdisciplinary studies is a tough thing to grasp, like grasping water. I feel like I was milking a cow. Okay. So, about this course, let's do Easter egg number one right away so you know what I'm talking about. Let's make it an easy one. Let's call it forks up. You know what that is, forks up, right? That's Easter egg number one. Okay, so about this course, we're going to work heavily off of Tanner's Integrative Studies. If you're in my 301, you probably have it by now. So some of the stuff is going to be repetitious, but that's good because it's going to get drilled into you and it's going to become foundational and hardwired, right? So what we are going to use is Tanner's 5 steps. We'll get to it. Tanner's 5 steps of integration to do integrative research, and it's going to be fun. You're going to put together a paper this course that is going to be your I forget what the French word is, but you're gonna the pièce de résistance. I don't know. It's going to be. I hope it's going to be. You're going to be so proud of it by the end. Not to be intimidated, because every 302, and once the reviews, evaluations are released from last session, I will tell you what they said, because I think it helps. Okay. A lot of people are going to say, oh my God, when I saw this, I was so intimidated. I felt like dropping the course. I didn't know. By the end of the course, it was like, this was great. And I had so many emails saying, you got me out of my comfort zone. You taught me things. I haven't learned a lot in college, but I learned things. You're going to learn some things in here that I wish you would have learned in 8th grade, APA formatting, or 10th grade. Okay. But you're going to learn it here. All right. Don't worry about it. You got this. You're in a 300 level class. You got it. Okay. So we'll go through this as we go along. You'll figure it out. I'll give you sample papers to work with. I'll give you a lot of help, and you can always call me. You can ask any one of my 301, and they will tell you that I should be one of the, if not the most responsive instructors that you'll have at ASU. Okay. I mean, I get back instantly. I have no life. Okay. So when I get an email from a student, hey, look at that, human contact. So just let me know when you have questions, concerns, problems, issues. We had to do a lot of flexibility last session with that Texas weather and stuff, right? So, okay, so there's going to be a variety of due dates, and I usually get a feel for that. If I move something, I'm always moving it farther out for your benefit, but I make different due dates during a week. There's 7 modules, one each week, right? The assignments are staggered because it's a chronological order. It makes sense. I don't want to do it all at once at the end of the weekend. Like George Carlin said, Mother Nature gave us time so that everything didn't happen at once. Okay? So if I make everything due on Sunday, then people are just doing everything on Sunday. I want you to consider things as we go along. Okay? It's not the easiest course you've been in. This isn't basket weaving or reggae, which I would love to take, by the way, but it's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be in your wheelhouse, meaning that I'm going to let you tailor it to you. You're not coming in here and working under my, my expertise. You're going to use your expertise. You're on the inside now. Okay. You're an academic. All right. So, in module 1, oh my God, I didn't make an Easter egg number 2. Anyways, I'll figure that out real quick. So in the module 1, learning materials, make sure you look at these things. I'm going to go over again. I endeavor for 2 videos per module. I am going to get hot and heavy on the specifics on the next video, which I'll probably do on Wednesday. Okay. I know that's quick, but it gives me a chance to do this introduction here, kind of just babble, but then Wednesday get into more specifics regarding it. But please review this stuff. The disciplinary pyramid is really important. The disciplinary approaches is very important. The article by Meath, the matter of definition is very important, right? You might have seen this somewhere else in 301. See it again. Because if you hardwire yourself with that, better off you are in grasping IDS and what it means in terms of your lifestyle and your quality of life and your career, or your, just your being a better consumer of knowledge. You'll hear me use that a lot. I want you to come out of this class thinking that, knowing that you're a better consumer of knowledge. Okay. If you never do research again, I understand. That's very reasonable. But you'll know what real research is, what fake research is, and you'll know how to be a better consumer of knowledge. Okay. In fact, let's do Easter egg number 2 and call it IDS equals integration. You're going to hear me say that a lot. IDS equals integration. It's not a perfect match, but it's close enough that I want you to start there. when you're trying to define IDS, I want you to go to integration. You cannot use integration too much in this class, just so you know that. Although this is different than my 301, you're not going to have a lot of opportunities to do it, but just so you know. So that's what we'll do there. Discussion board, the first discussion board is a simple one. Make sure when you post your video, you hit enter after you post your link so that it hot links itself. There's a quiz. Quizzes have to be done by the due date. There's no late penalty on the quiz dates. They're done, they close. Okay? So you need to do every quiz. They're typically due on Sunday before midnight. Okay? Make sure you do the readings and especially consider what a discipline is and the pyramid, the disciplinary focuses. Okay? It's a soft start. Look at the syllabus. It's a soft start of about 85 points in the first module. The course is worth 1,015. So this 85 represents less than a tenth, and it's 1 out of 7 weeks. So understand that things are going to ramp up pretty quick into writing. So take this time to get familiar with the syllabus, familiar with the course and the introductory material. I'll get into formatting next time. Again, I say ask questions and I will answer them. Videos are typically, well, in this class, they could be this long, but they're more substantive than me just babbling about my history and dropping names. But we'll talk again. Welcome to IDS 302. Easter egg number 3 is, let's just say, communication. Okay, I bet a lot of you have that as a concentration, but in this case, I want you to use it in terms of communication. Okay. Believe it or not, yes, I'm a live being. This is not an Autobot class. All right. So I'm going to say forks up and peace, and see you Wednesday.